Hey guys, alrighty, it is Monday after race weekend at the Grand Rapids Triathlon. All right, we got our finisher's medal right here. Beautiful. I really like this. It's very heavy. It's a nice one. All right, so here's race recap. All right, kicking back, kind of get into this. We went down on Friday, and the area that we swim in is gated off. It's a private lake, apparently. It's an impoundment, and so you can't get in to swim. No, there's no other access but just that one gate that the owners around the lake own. So it was raining on and off, more on than off that day, and so we ended up, so my wife and I was able to get the bike out and do a 20-mile recon ride. That was really, really helpful because I changed up my saddlebag on the back of the bike. Just want to make sure that it didn't fall or anything rattling. So everything was wonderful. I did find that the major part of the road that we were riding on had been chip sealed last year. And so it had the chip and then the black top seal. It was smooth, but it added a higher rolling resistance that what I'd really like to see. So had good meals. We took our meals down there. We stayed at Candlewood Suites. Beautiful, very clean. So we were able to cook all of our own meals. And so we carb loaded. I say we. I keep saying we. My wife and I carb loaded. And then got up Saturday morning, and there was a pre-race swim, which is really nice that they did it on the Saturday before. That really helped. So we got out there at 8 a.m., and I was able to get in the water and swam like a 138, 140 pace. Around the sprint distance, and I was cooking. I was like, wow, I swam for 11 minutes, and it felt amazing. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm good. And then we got some lunch, and then I came back, and I wanted to just double check things. Of course, with the bike, it's my biggest, asset, so I want to make sure everything was dialed in, so I just kind of piddled around with that. And then I got out and did a 2-mile shakeout run. Everything felt really good. I was running a 9:24, 9:38. I mean, I did exactly what I wanted to do, and then I went back to the hotel and rested, and had a good night's sleep. We went to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Got up at 4 a.m. and packed up everything, and we headed down to the race. All right, so we get to the race. Transition opens up at 5:15, and I got there, got all my stuff set up. Like I said, this is my first 70.3, so I was kind of nervous about my transition stuff, making sure I had everything in the right order. And so I double-checked, triple-checked everything, quadruple-checked it, and then we went down to the swim start line. So they had a pre-race swim, which was from 6 to 6:30. You could get in, familiarize yourself with the water. The water there is kind of murky, and I'll tell you something here in just a minute what happened. So got out, and I was once again just flying. I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. We got out, I got out, we all did, and kind of settled around, talked to some new people, and then they put us in the corral, which is around the corner of the boat launch area. All right, so we're sitting in the corral, and I seated myself at the 145 pace group, which is my pace, and which I've been swimming. So I get out, and 7:01 whatever, the time goes off. The starter, the announcer guy knew me, and so it was really cool to hear him, give me those props. And so jumped in the water, took right off. I mean, just cooking. All of a sudden, I was probably 200, 225 in, and maybe a little bit more than that. And all of a sudden, I ran into a big old pocket of weeds, and it was like rope. I mean, these things were like all around me. I was like, oh, good, crazy. The heart rate jumped. I just kind of pat. I was like, okay, stop. So I stopped, shucked them off. I mean, it was just a big clump of weeds. Shucked it off, sat there a minute, and I did exactly what somebody had told me to do. And I got up on my back and just kind of rolled over there. Okay, make sure everything's good. Roll back over and took off. And I mean, I literally took off. I kept looking at my watch. I was running at 140, 138, 135 pace, and so got that around to the all the way at the end. You make 2 left-hand turns and you come back around. So you go around a point, and I stayed away from the wash machine people. And they were actually, going to the right-hand side of me. And so I was staying right on my line. I watched the buoys. I went buoy to buoy to buoy. And there's 5 out, 5 back. Made the second turn. And then all of a sudden, this guy came crisscrossing in front of me. And I was like, what in the world are you doing? So I finally swam ahead of him, and I kicked. And I think I kicked him right in the mouth. I don't know. But he got off me at that time. But he kept coming up on top of me. I don't know what he was trying to draft me or what he was doing. but I kept trying to get away from him, and so I finally just took off and really threw the gas to it, and I finished the swim fifth in my age group, which I was like, wow, that's really impressive. So got out, and then so this triathlon from the finish or the swim finish to my bike and transition was a half mile, 1/2 mile run. So I got my wetsuit stripped off and got my gear and took off to this transition. So I get up to transition and I took a little extra time. This is some things I need to worry about, work on. I say work on. I need to clean that up a little bit and just be a little bit more efficient in transition. And so I had everything done. And what I do is, and I know that my tri gear has a pad in the shorts, but I put on a set of bike shorts just because it had pockets on the side, so I could put my gels in there. I didn't have to reach in the back. I could stay more aero. That was my thought, and it worked. So I got on the bike, and I mean, I was flying. I was passing people on tri bikes, and they kept looking and double taking, looking at me. I'm like, hey, see you, bye guys. So I went all the way through. We go through Lowell, and then went through Saranac. And at Saranac, I got a bottle of water just dumped on me to just for cooling. I had plenty of nutrition, a Formula 369 with Dougal Nutrition electrolytes in it, and then a bottle of water and a bottle of Gatorade, sugar-free Gatorade. So I was right on point with every bit of my nutrition. Everything was spot on perfect. Made the turn, it's like a candy cane, so it goes out and then comes back to it, and then coming back in, it was a little bit of headwind. I mean, not bad. I mean, the wind was only like 6 to 10 miles an hour, and so we were going back to the east, or back to the west on that one. Yeah, I think so. And then, so we ran into a little bit of a headwind because it was in our face in the east. So we got that going, and we made the turn, and I seen some guys in there like, oh, see you later. And I'm like, no, I'll see you in a minute. I'll catch you. And sure enough, I caught him. And so I finished second, and I know there's only one other guy, and he had his tri bike was phenomenal. He averaged 25 miles an hour. I averaged just right under 21. So he was quite a bit ahead of me in my age group. So I finished second in my age group in the bike section. So coming out of the bike, I was number 2 in my age group. I don't worry about everybody else on the others. That doesn't bother me. All right, so we get into transition. One thing that I forgot to do was take off my bike shorts. So I got in a hurry. I thought my wife would be there, but she was actually working for Huntington Bank at the transition areas, or at one of the aid stations on the run. So I thought she'd be at a transition. So I get there, get all my stuff going, and I take a bottle of water with me. I didn't take anything like electrolytes and stuff like that. I took a gel with me, but I didn't take anything else, that was mistake number 1. So I got out, took off running, and everything was really good. I mean, I felt great. Went through, come to the first medical aid station, and I felt a little twinge in my calves. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get some BioFreeze from them and have them put it on. So I had them put some BioFreeze on both my calves just as a preventative measure. Didn't need it, but it helped. It really was good, really needed. So got through the run, went to all the way at the end of it, which is like, I think I'm going to go with like a 5K. So we got the first 5K in, and it's a candy cane type. So it goes out and turns, and then the same thing, comes back. That's when the problems hit. I am found out that I'm a salty sweater, and I did not have enough electrolytes in me or on me as well. At that point, I began to hallucinate, and the hallucinations hit, and I could not figure out what was going on. And I made the turnaround there and come back to that aid station at the end there, and I got some Gatorade in me, and which was really warm, so it was, ugh. And I had a Coke, which was warm, ugh. And then some water, and they had a little bit of ice. So I probably should have put the ice in the cups and whatnot, but I put the ice in my bibs, my hat, and things were going pretty good. And I took a gel there, and so it was okay. I was better. So I took off running, and then you come out, and so the half you had to make a little turn up to take a left. You go up this hill in this little cul-de-sac and turn around, and you come back down the hill. So I ran up there, turned around, ran back down, took off running, and I ran to the next aid station. and walked that. Got some water in me. I don't remember a whole lot after that one. From there to the park. So you come back to Ada Park, and there's an aid station right there. And I remember getting a water there, and then you go past the park, and I walked. So it's like a dirt trail, and I walked that all the way through, and it was mud, and it was potholes, and it was just awful. So I just walked it. I was like, heck with it. I'm gonna get my head straight. Come back to the aid station. Drank a bunch of water, some Gatorades once again, warm Coke, warm Gatorade, but they didn't have any like electrolytes, no salt, stuff like that, and even the medical didn't have salt. I was kind of surprised at that. So I took off again, went to the next aid station, did the exact same thing, took a gel, water. I mean, I was trying to fuel as much as possible, but I was needing the potassium, the sodium, magnesium, the electrolytes is what I was needing. So that's lesson number 2. Carry your own bottle as well, and make sure you're taking enough electrolytes. Like I said, I'm a salty sweater, so I was keeping cool, but it just was out of gas. So made it all the way to the other end, back to that same aid station, and I walked that part there. At this point here, the hallucinations were I couldn't make good thought like sentences. I couldn't like comprehend what people were saying to me, and I couldn't like articulate as well. So I knew what was going on, why I was deficient, but there's nothing I could have done about it. So I walked back to the next, walked, shuffled to the next aid station, got what I could get there, and made it back to the park. And then I hit that last aid station, and I powered up. I just threw down whatever I could get in me, because I knew even if I threw up, I was just like a mile from the finish line, and made the turn past the swim station there. The swim start line, and that uphill, and I started crying. I was just over the moon, excited that I had finished this lifetime long dream event. And my wife was there, gave me my medal, and one of the things that I did is I ran for my daughter. My daughter has cystic fibrosis. She's a Make-A-Wish Foundation recipient, and Make-A-Wish was there, and I ran in her honor. She can't walk 70 feet without being out of oxygen. If she can do that, I can run 70 miles. I can do an event for 70 miles. So that's what I did in her honor. And so held her button. I had a button made, and I had it on my bib. And I'll do it again for Ironman Michigan. And so they took photos and interviews and stuff like that for this. And the Grand Rapids Triathlon does it right, y'all. I'll be honest. It's fantastic. They put on a good event. They had plenty of aid stations, very well organized. The bike course was semi-closed, and the run course was it was closed at the beginning, like to most traffic. But then when I was on the way back, there was a lot of traffic, and I was like, "This is nuts." So finished it in 6:28 and 6:20 and some change. So I'm super happy with my time. So what are we going to do from this point forward? All right. We're going to work on the running. My biking is solid. I've always been a good biker. My swimming, I'm solid. I got her. And the running is just something I'm going to have to work on. Now, this Friday, the 12th of June, I'm going to have foot surgery on my left foot, which is the foot I've had problems with. I have a bunion taken off and have my left foot straightened. And my big toe is 20.5 degrees off, which is extreme and out of kilter, and I think that's hindering some of my running abilities. It's not like that I was like out of gas, like I was hurting. I was just out of electricity, out of fuel. And so we're gonna build the running engine for Ironman Michigan. I know it's gonna be cooler because it's in September. It's supposed to be. We'll see. But I've talked to my coach, and we're gonna increase our running a little bit. So I'll be able to run at least 9 to 10 miles without having any issues, and then we'll work up to running the half marathons on a consistent basis. But that's the goal. I've got 3-4 bike races in August, so in September, so that's going to be fantastic. I got the Frankenmuth Fondo, the Fast 50, Thunder Bay Thriller, and then Uncle John's gravel race in September, then Ironman Michigan. And then we're done with all of it until November, which will be the Iceman Cometh. So super happy with where I'm at right now. Thank you for all the love and support. Once again, shout out to my sponsors and my affiliates, people who's taking care of me. Dougal Nutrition with electrolytes, the BCA powders, the men's vitamins, stuff like that. Formula 369. I couldn't have done it without you guys. That was the perfect fueling for a great race. I used the carb dope. I used the Formula 369 in 2 bottles, and that was just phenomenal. Elevate Fitness in Gaylord, they sponsored me for all my gym, my weight workouts and all that, so shout out to them as well. But shout out mostly to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who gave me the ability to do this, and the strength, and the Holy Spirit led me and guided me in this whole journey. I'm a born-again Christian, born-again believer, and I can't do it without the Lord. The Lord is my Savior, and if you don't know Him, I don't know how you do all this stuff. Guys, I appreciate you. It's just been an amazing journey. We're going to be down for at minimum 4 to 5 weeks for swimming, and probably 6 to 8 weeks at least for running, 6 weeks to 7 weeks for biking. So we'll ease back into the training, and we'll get her done. God bless. Love you. We gone. Bye-bye.